Welcome back to another episode of Hockey. Actually, everyone, this is our 10th episode, so we've officially hit double digits.
Yeah.
I'm Izzy. This is Nicolleta. Where do we start? We could start with the big news out of the PWHL that all PWHL teams' training camp rosters have been released, including PWHL Vancouver. I'm gonna read off the whole roster right now, and might take a while.
And then we can, yeah, then
Yeah,
we can go
after
from
that, we
there.
can go into players that we kind of have our eyes on heading into the season and the training camp. So we'll start with forwards. We've got Shanreet Bassi, 2025 draft pick, Abigail Barine, Brianna Brooks, who's also a 2025 draft pick, Michaela Cava, Katie Chan, who's a camp invitee, Izzy Daniel, Jen Gardner, Michelle Carvinen, 2025 draft pick, Denisha Khrushcheva, Darcy Lepan, who is also a camp invitee, Taylor Lind, camp invitee, Brooke McQuigg, Hannah Miller, Sarah Nurse, Gabby Rosenthal, Madison Samuskevich, 2025 draft pick, Malia Schneider, camp invitee, and Teresa Vanishova. Defenders, we have Sydney Bard, Ashton Bell, Melissa Chanel Watkins. We've got Madison Clow, who is a camp invitee, Karley Garcia, camp invitee, Emma Greco, Sophie Jakes, Nina Jump Smith, 2025 draft pick, Kennesha Miswaggon, camp invitee, and Claire Thompson. And for the goaltenders, of course, we have Kristen Campbell, Emrys Mashmeyer, and two camp invitees in Erica Fryer and Kim Newell. Okay, that is our official inaugural PWHL Vancouver training camp roster. Shall we get into some of the names that are intriguing us the most right now? One name that is really sticking out to me on this list on the forwards is, and I know I've spoken to her before, wrote a feature on her, did an interview with her, Katie Chan. And I think the reason so many people have their eyes on her heading into training camp is the fact that she is already playing over in Sweden. She has been pretty much since July, August, throughout training camps over there and preseason and such. Right now, she has 11 games under her belt in Sweden and coming into training camp with pretty much not even having to do the whole preseason like training warm up thing. Like she's already in game shape, ready to go. I think that's really going to help her chances at solidifying a roster spot. Who knows if that's going to be this year? All we know is that this is a name that a lot of people in PWHL Vancouver have an eye on and are excited about whether she makes the roster this year, next year in a full time role. Who knows?
I like it. I like it. Well, the fact that she's already playing is kind of setting her apart, right?
Exactly.
It's prepping her. She's getting ready.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's ready to go.
Yeah. One of the forwards that I too have written a feature on and had the privilege of talking to was Brianna Brooks, the draftee, one of the draft picks of the 2025. Um, and like just being a draft pedigree already, that there's expectations going on, like going into it. You got chosen by Vancouver, you want to prove yourself. So I think she's going to be guns ablazing, coming out strong and hard. And, like when I talked to her, she seemed very determined and excited that it all happened and it was so fast. And like she was happy to do it in Vancouver. So I think that drive is just going to push through to her game and possibly maybe get her a full-time position. I don't know. We'll see, but I have big faith in her.
I mean, we don't like, as much as there are a lot of players who are signed to contracts and who look like they're going to fill out the four lines that PWHL Vancouver has, none of them are locks, technically. Like anybody can come in and make a point and drive home, like, that they belong on this roster. I mean, like over with the Canucks, we saw that happen with Braden Coots. Of course, we'll talk more about that later. But it's kind of, if you really come into training camp with the drive and the good mindset and you have a good training camp and preseason, it's roster spots are for anybody, right?
You just got to prove yourself. I think that's the nice thing about training camp is that, yes, there are people who are guaranteed a spot, but it's about showing your ability and proving to the coaches that like you're here to play and you want that spot, you know? Like these are
Exactly.
your teammates, but you're also competing against them.
Exactly. And even if you don't make the roster in a full-time role this year, you have showcased yourself. They know, like the coaching staff knows what skills you have, what how you play, and who knows in the future when maybe there aren't as many players on certain rosters, we know that there will be more expansion coming up within the PWHL. It's just a matter of how many teams and when. Like the league is only getting bigger, and that means there's going to be more roster spots to fill. So even if you don't make it like this year, for example, you're
Mhm.
still, it's an opportunity that will definitely open doors for you heading into future seasons, right?
Yeah, 100%. So
One,
that was my
yeah.
choose.
Mhm.
Well, do you have a defender maybe or?
I did actually have one more forward I was gonna
Oh,
make note
yes.
of just because there is an interesting connection. Taylor Lind, who spent 5 seasons with St. Cloud State University, which is from 2019 to 2024, she actually played two of her seasons with St. Cloud, the final two, under current PWHL Vancouver head coach, Coach Brian Adolski, which I found interesting, kind of making that connection potentially out of training camp. She served as captain in 2022-23. Another thing that connects her to Vancouver, though, is she is the sister of former Canucks second round draft pick Cole Lind, who was taken in 2017. Not that that would have anything to impact
Fact.
her
Yeah.
appeal at a training camp roster, but that's a fun little Vancouver connection. But other than that, like she's like physical. She makes the plays that needs to be played, and she's played on the top line before at St. Cloud. Like she has experience with those kinds of minutes. So that like I think she's a name definitely to look out for heading into training camp. Again,
Okay.
we'll see as we have discussed, but I am really eyeing the fact that she already has experience playing under head coach Adolski. That's something that I'm
That
kind of
gives you an edge.
exactly right because then you
Whether
know
you like it or not, it gives you an edge. Yeah.
exactly because then you know like the systems that like the coaches want to play with, or you know other things like how they work, and it's easier to be able to like you already have the inside track, right? So it's kind of
You know
easier
what
to
to expect.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to defenders then.
I mean, you mentioned physicality.
Mhm.
I've got one who described herself as a very physical player
Mm.
with a high IQ.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking Karley Garcia is there and she's going to do everything she possibly can to make a spot. Like when I talked to her, this girl was like, I'm making it, I'm doing whatever I can to get there. Like, obviously, there's no expectations or like whatever, but she's like, if I make that roster, like, I am doing everything I can to possibly like be better. So I think she's going to be a fun one to look at during training camp just to see what she's able to produce. Because technically, like when you're a camp invitee, you know, like you've got something to prove.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're going in there and you're like, I'm the wild card
Mhm.
here. Like if anyone's gonna go, it's gonna be me. So let me put my best foot forward and like really prove myself. So I like her. I like her
Not like
mentality.
yeah, not like a prove people wrong thing, but kind of like a, like
Prove
similar
to
where
yourself that you deserve to be there, you
yeah,
know?
exactly. Like you've made it, like you earned that invite. Now it's time to show people why, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
But yeah.
there I also had a name that I was eyeing for camp invitees for defenders, and that is Kennesha Miswaggon. Uh, the reason that her name sticks out to me is she actually has spent the past 6 seasons with UBC, the Thunderbirds, which is actually the exact same timeline that PWHL Vancouver draft pick Shanri Basu has spent with the Thunderbirds as well. I like that connection. Of course, they're not like playing the same position. Bassie's a forward, Miswaggon's a defender, but the fact that she already has kind of a connection with someone who is looking like they're going to be playing with the team, kind of not exactly like vouching for them, but also you if you know how these certain players already play, it can make it easier to kind of click early on. And I think that's something we'll see with like heading back to the main roster, something we'll see with all those Scepters players who are already on the team. So that's something that I kind of had my eye on, but and plus the fact that she did spend 6 seasons at UBC, like already familiar with Vancouver, kind of familiar with the fan base in a way too. Like, of course, that's not exactly an on ice trait
advantage, but yeah.
But it's one of those things that you keep in mind, like with certain things, of course, because you know that Vancouver's hockey fan base can be interesting to deal with sometimes. But I mean, like everything surrounding PWHL Vancouver is positive, though. So
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful this won't turn into a Canucks trajectory.
oh yeah, well they already look. Maybe I'll watch what I say, but they look poised to be heavy contenders this year.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I would agree with that statement. That was very well said. Very well said.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So, speaking of the Devils, shall we talk about who just got called up to the main team?
I think we shall. We shall. So, of course, the Canucks sent Braden Coots back down to the WHL earlier this week. Best for his development, but in return, they have called up none other than the speedy dynamo Max Sasson. Did you want to talk a bit about Sasson and what we can maybe expect from him now that he's back up with the big club?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so far Abbotsford has only had 2 games, but he's got a goal in each of those games. And they've won both games, guys. Like, let's just put that out there. They won in OT in the first game, making it 2-1. And then in the second game, kind of won by a landslide. Well, landslide, but they won 4-2. So this team is proving to be very strong. And Max Sasson was definitely one of the drivers of that fast-paced speed, like going into the net, making those plays, getting consistency. And the fact that he's already got 2 goals is crazy. Like beginning of the season, he's ready to go. You can see that. So I think he's proven that he deserves to be on that lineup. Like he's proven that that's his spot, but now he's got to again produce in the Vancouver lineup.
So. And he always kind of has been like with Abbotsford, and we've seen that a little bit in preseason and training camp too, is Sasson has always kind of had that speedy, like high energy kind of play style about him. We've seen that a lot in like the playoffs and stuff too. And one stat that really stuck out to me from the Calder Cup playoffs was that he led the team in shots, and almost like every night it'd be like 3 or 4 on net, sometimes even 5. Like
that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, like regardless of whether he's actually like scoring or not, and he does do that a lot, the fact that he is putting these chances on at such a high rate is, especially with Vancouver now, something that they really need, given that you look at the offensive output of Vancouver right now.
It's not
help there.
Fantastic.
But I think injecting him into the lineup will really give a bit of an energy boost, especially given that Vancouver's kind of toying with some new line combinations right now, which we don't know if this is going to carry over into other games. But from what we have seen, what has been reported on practice as of Thursday, October 16th at around 2:30 p.m. Just have to specify that. We did see the reunion of the Calder Cup line in Archdeep Baines, Max Sasson, and Linus Karlsson on the fourth line. And a lot of people have been complimenting that line. We saw them find a lot of success in the Calder Cup playoffs last year. They haven't quite had their go around at an NHL level of play yet. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform
Yeah, I don't
all
think
together. Yeah.
because Carlson didn't play any of the Vancouver games. He
Yeah.
hasn't yet.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're really putting their faith in this line.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know that this line can produce, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, here's your chance. Like this is do or die, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's not like they're going to be completely relying on them for offense, but the fact that they're put together and the fact that they were such heavy contributors to offense for Abbotsford in the playoffs kind of shows that, well, we've seen what they can do at an AHL level for offense. Maybe we'll see how it goes at an
How
NHL.
it translates
Yeah,
to. Yeah.
exactly. Because, like, regardless of what they're producing in terms of goals and whatnot, they're when they were playing together in Abbotsford, you could sense a shift on the ice. Like you could see that like all three of them are skating hard, like heading into the boards. They're like the first ones there. They're just circling the puck. It's
Well,
one
I
of those
adore
things.
all three of them.
Yeah.
So I like their game as individuals, and then putting that together, I think
Mhm.
is like maximizing the amount of power that you
Yeah.
get. Like as we said in the previous episode, like putting the players to their strengths,
Hmm.
allowing them to succeed in what they're already good at.
Hmm.
So I think that that's what Vancouver's trying to do with this line.
Yeah. And I do like that they've been put together, regardless of how long they end up staying together. Give them a chance to show what they can do at an NHL level because they haven't quite had that yet. Give them
Mhm.
that chance. If it succeeds, that's great. If not, that's okay too. Like there's
It is
always
what it
different
is.
options. At least you gave it a shot, right?
Mhm.
So I think that'll be a very interesting line to keep an eye out for in the coming games. There is a game tonight when this releases. That game will have passed. So hopefully we're right in the sense that they're going to play well, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You want to go over some of the other lineups that
Yes,
Vancouver's done because
absolutely.
we had some select words.
Yeah, they've uh as of practice on Thursday. Of course, mind you, some of these might change by the time this episode is released, but from what we have heard, Drew O'Connor is going to be on the first line with Elias Pettersson and Connor Garland, which is
A choice.
it's a choice that I think a lot of people are not we're not expecting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about
I
it.
think they're being very careful. Unfortunately, I'll just say it. I'll take one for the team. Drew O'Connor has not been able to produce. In the games that he's been playing not very good. And I have nothing against the guy, but you're in the NHL, you should be able to do better than what you've been able to show. So for you to be giving an opportunity to be in the first line of an NHL team, you better work. You better work.
Well, the reason it surprises me is well, O'Connor is not an offensive player at all, and that's not what they have brought him in to do, right? Like he's a staple on the penalty kill. He is heavy forechecker who mostly stays on the fourth line, bottom six role. I'm just surprised that they elevated him there when his role has never been that,
That.
if that makes sense. I
It
do
just seems like a Hail Mary.
I do know, like, I guess trying to make some logistic sense of it, both him and Connor Garland, who are paired with Elias Pettersson, they're high drive, heavy forecheck players. So in the event that, say, they're both into the zone earlier than the rest of the Canucks are at a time on a shift, they can get the puck and bring it to Pettersson or something. I'm just kind of I'm curious to see how that would work out. I don't know if it's the solution.
I think maybe, and this is a very big maybe,
Mhm.
they're putting, as you said, someone who is not as offensive and his not his job to kind of push Pedersen into that offensive role.
Yeah.
Like to kind of get him like a jump start, like
Mhm.
this is your opportunity.
Yeah.
We're giving you literally someone who doesn't do this. Make it work.
And I'm just like I like Pedersen and Garland together. Like I know they've found success together previously. I'm just wondering if O'Connor is the right player to have on that unit.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Time will tell. I mean, who knows? We could be very wrong by the time this episode comes out. Watch him have like a hat trick or something tonight, but
That would be fantastic and all the more to him.
that's true. That's true.
However, the probability is just not there.
Reverse psychology or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
I don't know. Whatever. One player who I think we, of course, have to shout out with how he's been playing throughout the past 3 games is Kiefer Sherwood, of course.
Aye.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Three
Yep.
goals in 3 games, 16 hits. This is counting the Calgary game, the Edmonton game, and the St. Louis game. This is not counting the Dallas game that's tonight. Yeah, so 3 goals, 3 games, 16 hits. Right now, he is on the last year of his $1.5 million per year contract, which is very interesting to me just because they took care of a few of their key UFAs for 2025-26. They re-signed Demko. They signed Garland to an extension. Sherwood, I think, is one of the players that will definitely be on their list to consider coming to deals, like another deal with before the season ends. Of course, last year he had 19 goals, 21 assists, 40 points, averaged 14.53 minutes on ice per game, 141 shots and 460 hits, which was a new NHL record. Those are all career highs for him. Of course, he absolutely blew past expectations last year. This year, it looks like he's on a similar trajectory, which obviously means that, well, he's going to be making a lot of money after this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, of course, like, what do you think of what we've seen from Sherwood so far? Like,
I love.
yeah,
I feel like I don't know why. Maybe it's just the TV speaking, but he seems like the only player who doesn't have a lack of urgency. Like he seems to be like, other than maybe I'll give Baines a break because he had some killer hits in the first game, or not hits, saves. But he's the only one who's like going for it time and time again. Like I've seen him produce in every single game we've had so far. So how can you not like that? Like how, it just doesn't make any sense.
especially for a depth player too. Like to have, like he is their leading scorer right now. He has the most points on the team as of Thursday, October 16th at like almost 3 p.m. That could change after tonight's game, but as it stands right now, yeah, he's their most offensively productive player, and he contributes all over the ice. Like of course, he's scoring goals, he's on the penalty kill, he's blocking shots, making hits. Like he's all over the ice. He is like the ideal third, fourth line player. It's just interesting to consider whether Vancouver will be able to afford him once this year is over. One interesting thing that people had mentioned during the offseason is that he actually switched agents. So now he's being represented by Richard Evans and Judd Moldaver, who are notable just because Moldaver has worked on contracts for people like Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Roman Josi, all these big stars. So now that Sherwood has this kind of representation, it'll be interesting to see.
They're gonna want to
Get him paid, right?
Yeah, get him paid, which
also
I absolutely adore. I like that. It's unfortunate for us, but
get him paid. Hopefully it's here, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's so many factors that go into it. One contract comparable, I feel like that could come in. Not a direct comparison, but one that I kind of view as similar is Dakota Joshua when he signed with Vancouver after his career year. Of course, it's not to the same level because, of course, Joshua's career highs were in like goals and all these things. He had like 32 points, and Sherwood had 40 last year. This was a big, massive breakout year for Sherwood, which is why I kind of feel like maybe his next contract would come in around the $3.5-4 million per year ballpark. I could see it being like maybe even like probably around there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would guess he's like 30 now. So I would guess he wants something a little more long term. With that Joshua contract, we saw that Joshua signed for 4 years. I feel like it would be in Vancouver's best interest if they were to sign him for like a $4 million a year contract to maybe keep it a little lower on the term, just because you don't know what could happen like in the future. You don't know if he's going to continue playing up to this caliber, especially if he's making so many hits in a season. I don't know how long you'd be able to hold up if you're doing like almost 500 hits a year. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about, and it's really early to be thinking about that if we're being honest. But
Yeah.
the fact that like already like we saw him play so well last year, and already he seems to be continuing that trend. It'll be something to look out for in the future, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so. I agree.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I hope for the best.
Exactly. And I mean, hey, Sherwood came with Quinn Hughes's recommendation. So if your captain's got the recommendation, if you like
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think that was everything from us for this week. Thank you for listening in. Let us know your thoughts on PWHL Vancouver's training camp rosters. Who are you looking forward to seeing? Who do you think is going to make the main
regular
opening night
Yeah.
roster or anything else? Like we have said, drop a comment if you have anything you want us to talk about.
Reach out to us too.
Yep.
We don't bite.
But yeah, that is it for episode 10. We'll see you all next week. Cut.
Done. Okay, beautiful.